And it is a Monday, everyone. Hopefully you're having a good kickstart to the week.
Yes, it is. It's a beautiful way to start the week, and we've been blessed with the sunshine, which I think has been putting a smile on everyone's faces.
You're like whipping out the sunglasses though, and like the little car visor, because you're like, whoa, it's blinding.
Yes,
but you like it.
Exactly. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about the heat. This is what we want and need.
Yes.
So
if the sun's too bright, but you want to look at, if you still have your solar eclipse glasses. I was doing that yesterday. I had them in my car, and I was like, let me just, not while driving.
Okay.
Not while driving. No, I was sitting in the driveway with the car off. It was not even on yet. Yes, let's be safe and smart, please.
Okay. I'm glad we clarified that. But we are embracing spring and the warmth here on Studio 10. We're going over to Van Atta's.
For some flowers?
Oh, exactly. Yes, definitely. So in the fall time, that's when you want to plant your bulbs, which are like tulips, daffodils, and other flowers, but you can only plant them in the fall. So that way, by the time the spring comes, they'll pop right out and it'll be gorgeous. And that's what we're seeing right now, is we're seeing a lot of those bloom. But if you're sometimes a procrastinator or forget to plant things in the fall, and you're kind of screwed if, when you get jealous, you're like, oh man, I should have done that. Well, there's a new kind of forced pre-made plant, so you can still do it.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you do want those bulbs in your yard, or those tulips, or those daffodils, you can. And so Lisa from Van Atta's really shows us how to do it. So, which is nice, because fall is a busy time for everyone.
And you don't think of planting in the fall.
Right.
You think of the leaves falling off and things kind of...
Yes, kind of saying goodbye.
Yes,
exactly. So this is really nice. So she breaks it down for us, and the care that you would do and have all season long.
Yeah.
And then what to do in the fall. So you're kind of all caught up.
No, that's smart, because I feel like it's not even like you procrastinate it. Sometimes you just... I wouldn't think to plant bulbs in the fall.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't garden, but that's good to know.
Yes, so it's very helpful. So definitely tune in for that. Plus, it is Monday. We mentioned it's a good kickstart to the week. So we have Regina Carey, who's going to give us a big motivational Monday and motivate us to travel. I think sometimes we all want to travel, but then there are little obstacles like finances, travel companions, getting there, time off that are get in our way. But this is no, push through. These are some tips that you can do, so you don't have that excuse of I can't do it. No, find ways so you can. It's good to travel. It's good for our health. So,
and it's something to look forward to. And so I will say, I got a trip coming up at the end of the year. I've told you about it.
Yeah.
Something that makes it fun, a little bit more organized and visually appealing. I did a PowerPoint itinerary.
Yeah.
So that's just a fun way to kind of get your resources. You can put your links with all of that and organize it.
We don't need, look at Motivational Monday with Regina and Taylor. So it works out good. Tips from Taylor. And then,
do a little ring to it.
There you go. Plus it is prom season. So we have Grace Boutique from Old Town. She's coming in with us to give us some prom trends to keep in mind, support local. And we also have, it's National Poetry Month. So we have poets joining us, and how you can kind of listen or be a part of it. We were just kind of talking about journaling and using the power of words to kind of help us go through certain emotions. So poetry is a great way to start, and there's so many different options of either performing it, writing it, and there's a new option too where you can write it and have someone else perform it too if it is meant to be performed. It's all
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great community. So we're going to dive into that. And on that note, I know we were talking a lot about spring, but sometimes there are things we just don't want to let go. I do want to let go of the snow, but Miss Elsa doesn't. And you can see Frozen Jr. at St. John's Middle School this week. And so we're going to have the cast come and talk about Olaf and all of the different puppets you have to use. So it's more than just acting and dancing. There's a lot of things that you need to learn how to do, but Claudia has a great story for that.
Well, that's fitting, Frozen is, because I know we have the warmth and the sunshine today, but Justin was saying there may be some things to look out for that would be fitting for this Frozen theme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we'll have Justin give everyone the bad news.
Thanks for the good news,
yes,
Nicole.
You're welcome.
Good news, Nicole. There she is.
Yes, there you go. Well, thank you so much. Of course, you can always contact us and follow us on here to stay connected. Sorry, Justin. Hopefully you can let this go. Big summer blowouts.
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo, big summer blowout. I love it. We'll see you at 3 o'clock, Nicole.
Yeah, so we can finish each other's
Sandwiches.
There you go.
There we go.
I don't know. I might be lost in the woods.
I like that. I like that.
Maybe running out somewhere else.
Oh my God.
List all these frozen suns.
And
That's
Olaf-
frozen. That's Frozen 2 right there.
There you go. And what? Olaf turns
Going
into
back.
a big puddle.
I know, he does. He does. And you know what he would have yesterday? Warmest day of the year so far. Mid to upper 70s. Really nice day. And we've done pretty well for ourselves today. Not quite as warm, but hey, our average high is in the 50s, and we're well above that already out there and still climbing heading into this afternoon, which is good news. And it's bad news, if you will, but hey, we were just a little bit this weekend, just a little bit cooler, right? So we're going back towards that too, but we got several good days to enjoy before that. The midweek day will be a little different out there, and so that's something for us to kind of keep an eye on outside. But you can see the Mason Skycam down there, part of that Meridian Company Skycam network, showcasing temperatures that are in the mid-60s. And lots of sunshine, too, over Mason. And so that's good news for us out there today. Again, conditions have been warm today, but yesterday's highs managed to get back well into the 70s. And once again, it was the warmest day so far in 2024. Charlotte at 76 was tied for the coldest temperature in mid-Michigan yesterday. And really, that is still almost 20 degrees above normal for the time of year. And that's the coldest number we had. Most of us were 77, like Lansing and Marshall, as well as Mason. Jackson got to 78. And Adrian, the first place to get to 80 degrees this year. So they managed to get all the way up there. Just a couple degrees above Jackson, though. Really nice day, and lots of sunshine is what we had. The numbers today, not bad either. We're already 70s in Marshall and Coldwater. Jackson's pretty close. Lansing not far behind at 68. So everybody warming up pretty nicely here on this Monday, the 15th of April. The warmer air just off to our south, 70s in Chicago, 80s in St. Louis. Even Indianapolis is at 80 degrees, and so that's not too far off. And Alpena at 62 is above normal by quite a bit for them this time of year. They can get a nice cool breeze off the lake this time of year, and so that can change on a dime. For them to be in the 60s, very comfortable too, and Green Bay the same number as us. So once again, we are seeing really nice air this afternoon. I think between the hours of 4 and 5, we probably touch 71. That's my forecast high for the day, but again, pretty close to 70 these next few hours, which is really nice to have. You notice, though, that the numbers cool off pretty fast this evening. They don't get really, really cold, but they do decrease in a hurry, and that's kind of the trend here when you have very dry air. Our dew points are in the 30s, and what that means is you'd have to cool the air down to the 30s in order to saturate the air, in order to form dew or frost or anything like that. We're not cold enough for frost tonight, and I don't think the numbers get too close to the dew point where we have a ton of dew. You might find it in a couple spots tomorrow morning as the numbers go to low 40s, but even by midnight, we're barely holding on to 50 degrees. And so pretty impressive when you consider the fact that we're getting to the 70s today. For us to lose about 30 degrees tonight is impressive for the time of year. Satellite and radar, though, tells a story that just features more dry air, quiet conditions, shower activity well to our north, often around the Straits of Mackinac. Over there, they've got a few sprinkles, but the system that is approaching is out over the Dakotas now, and it's going to take not tomorrow night until that gets in here, and then we'll watch for some thunderstorm activity that'll be possible too. We'll talk about what that means here in the hour by hour, because the afternoon, again, really nice. Beautiful temperatures by about 5, 6 o'clock this evening. Very comfortable conditions, lots of sun, but there's that heat going away tonight. Again, mainly clear skies, drop into the low 40s. And so we lose about 30 degrees off our daytime high temperature, but tomorrow we'll warm back up again, upper 60s, maybe near 70 in a few spots. Really nice Tuesday. We start with more sunshine like we have today. The clouds, though, are going to gradually fill in, and by the end of the day, we'll probably still see a little bit of the sunset tomorrow, but the rain showers will be not far behind as we get into the overnight and once it goes after dark. You see here that we have a few rain showers working in at midnight and then continuing into the morning with some more scattered rain. Now, we might get a dry period on Wednesday morning that lasts into the early to mid-afternoon, but at that point the cold front's going to come sweeping in, and with it a couple of gusty storms. You see them blow through there by 8 o'clock. They're already well off to the east, and so we'll probably see the sun go down Wednesday as well on another day that comes close to 70. But as that line of storms comes through, it does bring with it the chance for some gusty winds along a cold front. So here's the severe weather outlook that we have. It's a marginal risk for us south of I-96, and you can see that it pretty much does ride the highway from Lansing even off towards the Metro Detroit area. So the I-96 corridor and points south is where the marginal risk is. In the light green, that's just general thunderstorm, non-severe risk for everybody else. But the dark green's the marginal, 1 out of 5 for severe weather. All modes are possible for severe weather there, but the primary risk we're looking at is gusty winds because it's going to be along a front. They'll flare up in the afternoon. If we get some peak daytime heating involved, we could see probably a couple of those wind gusts close to 60 with any thunderstorms. Mostly, though, for the day, will be around 30 to 35 for our wind gusts. So still a little breezy on Wednesday, but it's still a day that we get close to 70, as I mentioned, and it's just a marginal risk right now. Not one to completely forget about, but it is on the lower end of our severe weather criteria, which is good. So we'll keep eyes on that headed towards Wednesday, but I would say right now that the severe weather risk is not very high. We'll see if maybe it gets elevated over these next few days as things come together. Now, I will say Thursday we're still in the 60s, but there's more clouds than sun, pretty close to 60 Friday, so really not bad at all this week other than that storm chance Wednesday, especially since all these numbers are above normal for high temps. The difference comes this weekend as we head out towards Saturday and Sunday. Low 50s highs, really not terrible for the time of year, but it's very dry conditions that are returning, and that means it's easy to cool the air down. And we will both Saturday and Sunday night. You see those lows, 33, 32. Anytime you really get below about 35 this time of year, you can get patchy frost to form. And anytime you get near and below freezing, you can get those hard freeze conditions. So we talked about folks with gardens. You really want to try to avoid the planting until you get past that point where you're not dealing with any of the freeze concerns, and so that'll be what we kind of gear towards. I do think that this kind of, if you want to call it a cold spurt, it's really not even that much colder than normal. It is still April, of course, but we go back to the 60s next week, and I think that trend's going to carry all the way out towards the end of the month of April as well. It looks like a pretty generally slightly warmer than normal pattern, and by next week, average highs are above 60 degrees. So we're continuing to motor on here in a time of year where we start to warm up a lot more consistently, which is awesome. I love it personally, but we get back into the really nice weather, and that'll be something that we get to enjoy, I think, rounding out the month of April. I love the month of May from a personal standpoint. I just think it's got some of the most beautiful weather because you can have days get into the 80s. You can also have nice crisp mornings and days that get to like 61, 62 with a little sun. Those are just amazing. I love those kind of days. Mm-hmm. And we get a lot of those in the month of May. I think it's going to be a really good one this year, too, based on how the trend is looking. So
get your tea, get your coffee.
Yeah, 100%. And it's great for all sorts of outdoor activities, including softball. Outdoor softball,
that's right,
really
that's
fun.
right, that's
Got
right.
A lot going on in the station brewing that we'll talk about pretty soon, but all trying to come together. And anyway, going to be really, really nice, I think, these next several days, really. It's just Wednesday's the one. Mm-hmm. Andy loves to use the phrase, I call it the fly in the ointment. A lot of you at home probably have heard that one, but that's one that we hear him use a lot. And I think that
first I'm ever hearing that.
Yeah, well, I've known Andy for several years now, getting to work together with the great Andy Provenzano, and I've heard a lot of his go-to phrases. And that's one of my favorites, fly in the ointment. So if that's, get your swatter out, because Wednesday is maybe the one day that we got to deal with the little pesky guy buzzing around. Other than that, we're doing fine. The forecast bodes pretty well for us here, rounding out this midweek of April here. Not doing too bad at all, and especially with yesterday's temperatures and sun. And I mean, what a beautiful day yesterday to be out and about if you were. And today, a pretty good one too. So maybe an evening walk is in store after our 90 minutes of news. Take a nice crisp, maybe 6:45, 7 o'clock, get out and enjoy.
Yeah, no, that sounds beautiful. Mm-hmm. Make sure to get outside. I know, and it's Wednesday. One more time, we'll get a little quick look at that.
Sure.
Just prepare, which means when Justin says go outside and enjoy today, go outside and enjoy today, because you need to prepare for Wednesday and the colder temperatures.
Yeah, just giving you a first alert to what's to come. Yeah, and it's close. Again, we don't have a lot of really, I would even call really bad days in the forecast. We're getting out of that time of year where we can get the really cold air. I am very confident, despite the fact that lows are getting near the freezing mark next weekend, I'm pretty confident right now that we've seen the last of the snow. I think that is pretty much out of the picture, especially with the long-term trend heading through the end of April, supporting lots of 60s and even 70s highs. It's going to be really tough for us to get anything aside from maybe we get a freak cold spell that gets us down to like 30 and an overnight, and right at the start of the day you see a flake mix in with some raindrops. That's really the only chance at this point. I think we've seen, I'll say, the last accumulating snow, the last we've seen on the ground. That's what I'm calling for. If it happens, I apologize. I don't see it in the cards for us here based on how the trend is looking. And so if that's exciting news to you, run with it, enjoy. The cold spells we get now are still going to be pretty reasonable. We're coming out of the winter time. We're firmly into the spring now. I think we've turned that corner into consistent spring weather. Despite being a little cooler this weekend, I think we're doing just fine.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. And again, we are above average temperatures for this time around. I think just coming off of the warmer than usual winter, plus we're getting some of these higher ones. What was it? Adrian has 80?
They got to 80 yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, and so when we do have those quick little days, again, Justin says, you know, that snow should be out of here, at least the accumulating snow.
Yeah.
It's just a little wake-up call, you know. Like he said, we're still in April. Wait until May to get some of those warmer temperatures.
Yeah,
but
of course,
just gotta. Sometimes it freaks you out. You're like, oh, what happened to the warmth and the sun? So this is your warning.
I think you're closer to getting out on the water than you are to getting the snow shovel out again. And so that's good news for us.
Yes.
We all love that. And so hopefully moving forward, that holds true.
Baseball season, softball season, we're ready.
It's coming up. We're excited. We're excited.
Practice.
We'll share some details on that soon. Maybe people can come out and catch a game or something.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It'd be fun when we get into that
we'll
time
let
of
you
year.
know. And we'll be keeping an eye on the forecast so we can find some good practice days because we need to get the rusty swing going.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to get back into the swing of things, quite literally.
Yes.
So we'll have a good time.
All right, look forward to it.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you can always stay up to date with the First Alert Weather app.
Yeah, and that's the best tool, of course, always to have. You know, you can download it absolutely free, Google Play in the App Store. It's got a lot of great, wonderful features, and the numbers that you're seeing on there, don't have too many more of those, I think, to deal with pretty soon moving forward here. You see those 30s on our little hour by hour there. We're going to be getting towards some of the warmer weather again as we're moving forward, so pretty nice all in all. We're excited to continue moving that direction. It's the right direction this time of year.
Yes, right direction. I like that.
For sure.
Thank you, Justin. We'll see you coming up 3 o'clock with Studio 10. Studio 10 gets started here in just under 40 minutes, so make sure to stay up to date with that. Like Justin was saying, you may get some of that little freeze, some of that frost with Wednesday into the end of the week with those drop in temperatures. So with that said, when you tune into Studio 10, they're telling you how to plant these bulbs if you're falling behind, because typically you plant those in the fall. Well, they're going to tell you how to get spring ready, spring garden ready, and all of that. So just make sure to tune into Studio 10. But again, coming up today on First at 4 during Mid-Michigan Matters, we're talking about Michigan State University's program where they're helping professors and teachers know how to get the resources that they have already, or ask for the resources that can benefit all of their students with and without disabilities. So making sure they're pertaining to the needs of those students, helping them to get that education to the best of their ability. We're going to tell you more about it coming up during Mid-Michigan Matters on First at 4. Coming up, News 10 at 5, Alfreda Schmidt, a pillar in the Lansing community, has passed away at the age of 97. And so we take a look at the life of a Lansing icon, and she is such a well-known figure in this community, and so really taking the time during News 10 at 5 to celebrate the life she lived and the legacy that she left behind. So make sure to tune in News 10 at 5. News 10 at 5:30, high school baseball. Lanesburg appears to be one of the area teams poised to make some noise in the season's playoffs. So our very own News 10 Sports, Joey Ellis, shares more on the Wolfpack senior leaders. And finally, News 10 at 6 as part of our Make an Impact series. David Andrews speaks with the man who runs Cristo Rey Community Center, and we'll have that story coming up on News 10 at 6. I do have Aaron Bowling standing alongside of me right now.
Hello. Happy Monday, everybody.
Oh, we still got the First Alert Weather app. Give me a second. Keep
download
waiting.
it. Gotta download it. Very, very important. But yes, hello. How's it going?
It's good. How's your week starting off? Did you have a good weekend?
It's good. It's a good story today. It's a pretty sad story, I will say, but hopefully a story that could do some good. Today I spoke with a 15-year-old girl. She lives, and her parents. She lives in Howell. She is in need of a kidney donor. When she was 13, she was diagnosed with vasculitis and end-stage renal disease.
Wow.
And so she's been having to go through dialysis, all different sorts of treatments, testing, all that kind of stuff. But right now she is really, really in need of a kidney donor. They're hoping to do the transplant this summer, but you need a donor to do that procedure.
A lot of people are on that wait list too.
Yes, a lot of people are on that wait list now because she is so young. She was diagnosed when she was 13. Now she's 15. because she's so young. They have kind of bumped her up on the list, but they're really, hoping to find a match here soon. Now, she does have kind of a rare type of blood, but they did tell me there is a kind of not new, but there's another option. Like, you don't have to be a perfect match for the person you're donating for anymore. I'm not a medical professional, okay? The way they explained it to me was you can almost do a transplant across 3 people.
Wow.
I know, it doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. I don't want to say too much and get it wrong, but essentially, like, the mom...
I see how that works.
Yeah, the mom explained it really well. She said, imagine there's 3 people, and maybe A would give their kidney to B, and then B to C, and it's like a circle of blood types, and who's a good fit for who.
Yeah.
So even if you don't share her blood type, you could still potentially really make a huge impact in this girl's life. So talking about what it's been like these past couple years since she was diagnosed. She recently had to start being homeschooled. It's something that impacts her every day.
Yeah. That would be a huge adjustment.
Quality
with
of
those
life.
new challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, huge quality of life change. She said, it kind of ebbs and flows. It depends. Symptoms are different every day, and sometimes symptoms are a side effect of a new medicine they're having her try or something like that. But just feeling very, very tired every day, which I thought was really interesting. They said a normal person, their kidney operates at around 95%. It's like a good, healthy person. Your kidney is operating at around 95%. Hers is operating at 11%.
Wow, so almost fitting into that 5% margin. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, very, very low. 11%. So she's at 95% is like what you want to be at. So, and that's what cleans your blood, right?
Yeah.
Gets the toxins out of your body. Yeah, so very, very tired, nauseous, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of symptoms.
She's looking for that relief.
Yeah, and she's also 15 years old. She wants to
Play.
go to school like normal, hang out with her friends like normal, go to dances, that sort of thing.
Do the fun activities, just be a kid, yeah.
Yeah, and they so they don't exactly know what caused it, but they don't believe it was anything she did, nothing like really genetic, just like a totally random, rare disease. Yeah, horrible. It's a chronic kind of condition. So if she's not able to find a kidney, she'll be on dialysis for the rest of her life. On that life expectancy without a kidney transplant dramatically decreases. With a kidney transplant, it increases. You could get many years of living like a normal person.
Yes.
So yeah, News 10 at 5 o'clock. You'll get to meet her. Her name is Kelsey. She was so nice. They're the sweetest family, her and her parents. They're really awesome people. But yeah, meet Kelsey, a little bit more about her story, what she's dealing with, and how you or maybe one of your loved ones could help by getting tested to see if you're a match for her.
No, that's a tough story, like you said, a sensitive one, but I mean, there she is, and she's fighting through it, and again, hoping that someone out there, if you have the right kidney match, or at least can help someone else out, that they can get the help they need. Like you said, they can go hang out with their friends, go to school, and feel just like normal, not have all of those things to worry about. Yeah,
we talked about her maybe like a post-transplant, post-recovery bucket list. So, things she wants to do, if or when she is able to get her kidney transplant, kidney donor. She said she's really excited to eat potatoes. She's not allowed to eat any kind of potato right now. And there's some other foods like orange juice, sodium's a big one. Her diet is very restricted. So that was kind of a big thing. But her sister's
French fries.
Yes, her sister's also attending grad school right now, out of state. She said she wants to be able to go and visit her sister at school. Travel with her family. That's something they can't do right now. So
it is nice to see you are all able to be outside today, enjoy that.
Yeah, beautiful weather. We were kind of funny. We were going to be over at the library in Howell, but we had to move because they were doing construction across the street and it was so loud. So, but yeah, it was beautiful. I haven't been to Howell in a while, but it was great weather for us.
Yes.
So,
well, let's hope Kelsey gets the kidney that fits her and can help her just move throughout life with less challenges. Just make it easy sailing for her.
Yeah, and tune in, News 10 at 5. And even if you yourself, aren't a match, aren't eligible to be a donor, share that link. We'll have the link on our website, on our Facebook page. Give it a share. You never know. That click of that one button could get in front of the just right person for Kelsey to get her a kidney, get a donor.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Erin. News 10
Yeah.
at 5?
Yes, News 10
All
at
right.
5. Thanks
Look
for having me,
forward to that.
Taylor.
Yeah, of course, always. We'll see that story coming up. Well, no matter what you're going through in life, and I feel like, with the changing of weather, even talking about a kidney for Kelsey, no matter what conditions you're going through or life challenges, or, you heard me and Nicole talking a little bit earlier about, Poetry Month and celebrating that and how you can get those creative ideas out. I know that I was sharing with Rochelle and Nicole, and I got Erin here. She's known some of the stuff too. There's little challenges, right? And even the minor
Absolutely.
things can get you down. You try not to, but hey, you're human. You've got feelings. And so something I was doing, I know Colton would be proud of this, watching the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, channeled my inner Taylor, right? So something that helped me get out of a funk, and maybe not, journaling's not for everybody. I know my mom, when I'm like, hey, do you try getting out your thoughts on a piece of paper, journaling it out? She's like, that's not for me. But what I found is getting different areas that can help you still get out those thoughts. I talk to, for me personally, when I'm in a little funk, or maybe it's, a longer period of time I'm in a funk, I have that support group. I ask my friends, my family, and it can be hard to, be vulnerable and brave and just talk to them about how you're feeling, right? Not everything's going to be perfect in life. That's life. And it can be hard to come to terms with that and give yourself grace, right? Life is hard, and, we're human. We make mistakes, but you just go through it. So something that kind of helped me was, instead of just talking it out or writing it out, writing a song, again, channeling the inner Taylor Swift, and that way it can help you more creatively or in a different way get out those emotions and express how you feel. So on your screen, you are seeing that You're Not Alone mental health series. You've seen us play it before if you've joined us. And again, if you're joining us today, we appreciate you for being here, taking the time to be with us and staying informed and hearing the messages we're sharing. We do want to share, again, as always, the You're Not Alone mental health series, providing those resources for those who may be going through more of a tricky time. I know it's hard even when you have a support group to, it's easier said than done, right? And so you hear things from your support group, but if you yourself haven't come to terms with it and aren't ready for that step, maybe you just need to sit with those feelings a little bit longer and process it more. But there's only so much time you can process in that space before, it almost feels like it consumes you. So if you feel like you've been consumed by your thoughts, if you're going through a period of transition, a loss of identity, addiction, stress, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, any of those feelings, emotions, conditions, know that you're not alone. There are people out there, and maybe it's a slightly different experience, but they've got a great piece of advice that helped them, and you go, hey, I didn't really think about that. Again, sometimes when your head is clouded with other things, it's hard to find that simple solution that could work. And I say, lack of a better term, simple, because when you are more in that better headspace, it is, and you have less things bouncing around in your head, of course, that might be the better option. But when you have more of those things clouding up your head, it gets a little difficult. So know that there are resources out there for you, and you're seeing that on your screen. So go ahead and scan that QR code with your cell phone's camera. It'll pull up a link, you click on it, and it'll have a list of resources to help guide you when you're ready to healing and improving your emotional well-being. So we want to make sure you're being taken care of out in the community. We know a lot, it happens all the time on a day-to-day basis. So again, just making sure that you're not alone, and there are resources out there for you. So with that, we're going to see what Mars has coming up today. News 10 at 5:30. I almost just hit the box. Josh is looking at me like, what just happened? We're good. We're going to see what Mars has coming up.
Hi, Taylor. Mars Anderson here outside of Jackson College, about to enter the Mind, Soul, Essence Health Forum hosted by Jackson College, welcoming students in to create a conversation around mental health. I'll have more details on that during News 10 at 5:30.
Thank you, Mars. They're doing it too, talking about mental health, the importance, and finding those treatments, prevention, the solutions, all of that. So one more time with that said, we're going to play the You're Not Alone mental health series. I'll just play it a little bit here before I give you some live looks outside. I know I was showing you a live look over Mason not too long ago, and so we'll kind of get some looks around the area. If you give me just a second to do some clicking so I can change those camera shots. You're not seeing the behind the scenes, so I'll just describe what is happening. Give me a second here. All right, now work with the magic a bit. So a live look over Delta Township. Maybe you are in that funk. You want to get outside today, soak up that vitamin D with the sun, put that smile on your face, go do an activity, get that blood pumping, that energy moving, and hopefully that gets you out of that funk. If not, just change of scenery, right? Go outside, read a book, drink some tea. Whatever helps you, okay? Everyone's different. This is a live look over downtown Jackson now. You're also seeing that there's no clouds in the sky. You got that blue, and it's looking very dry out on the roads too. So very great day to get outside. It is feeling like spring. And again, Justin was sharing that Wednesday, ooh, take that out, that this Wednesday there's going to be some breezy conditions. You're going to have some of those storms rolling in. So just again, one more time, make sure you're downloading the First Alert Weather app if you don't have it already. This will move, there we go, and just have it on your phone, and you can do the follow me feature to more accurately get where you're going to be, or change it if you want to see what weather's like somewhere else, if you'll be traveling there over the weekend, later in the week, later today even, or creating some plans and you want to see what that's like. This is a good way to do it. And then also getting those traffic alert updates. I know with those rain showers and construction especially, it really helps to know when there are little slowdowns in the area or any crashes, so that you can stay informed and readjust your route. But again, live look over Delta Township as we're heading out, because it looks like traffic's moving just fine there. They just stopped at a little red light for now, but everything's moving along just fine on the roads out there. So go enjoy today while you can before the temperatures drop just a little bit, and then soon we're going to be getting more of that warm weather. So I'm excited. I hope you all are too, and I hope you're having a great Monday so far. So make sure to stay tuned with us here on News 10. Studio 10 gets started here just under half an hour, followed by First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. Hope you join us then. Have a good one, everybody.